Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus new moon for the month of April tarot oracle reading. And Aries, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign isn't Aries, we all have a little bit of Aries in us somewhere. Where does Aries show up in your birth chart? If you have it, that's where this information will be most prominent for you. This is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further information as to your situation. Now, we're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. We have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, the Knights would work for the King and Queen, and they would deliver messages far and wide. This was the only form of long-distance communication. And they would deliver it in person, wait for the answer, and then ride all the way back through the kingdom to get back to their own kingdom and bring the answer in. So the Knight of Wands, he represents the element of fire. His wand is wood here. It's passion and action. And you can see he's got a red plume on the back of his helmet here, showing that he does have a temper and he can be impulsive and he knows it. But he's learned how to rein it in, which represents the horse energy here. Also, on February 17th, we moved into the year of the fiery horse energy from the Chinese New Year. And this is very close to the same energy. This is Sagittarius energy, the centaur that has the bow and arrow and shoots for the stars and then lands his target. The energy is someone who's very adventurous and loves to learn and explore the wonders of the earth, which is what the pyramids represent here, is the mysteries. And this energy is talking about having learned to rein in the emotions and discipline the mind so that when they deliver, it's, it's a solid information. And the danger of this fiery horse energy, and which will be in the energy of until February, I think, 6th of 2027, is to be impulsive and like to get hot-tempered and then do something that you regret after. Or it can be like just setting your goals so high that and not giving yourself enough time to reasonably achieve those goals. And so this can lead to burnout. But so this is, this card is saying there's some sort of information coming in. These days we have so many ways of communicating, so this could come in by a phone call, a text message, it could be in the mail or an email. The energy could also be you're on social media and someone messages you there. Maybe you see an event posted and you say, I'm going to attend that, and then you run into someone and it's the perfect person to find the information you need. And also, it's a good idea to take a few minutes every day just to take a look at what's happening at the top of the pyramid in the news, because whatever is happening at the top is definitely going to affect the bottom of the pyramid to some degree. And here we have, oh my goodness, we have Aries, we have the devil energy coming in. So are you tempted by something, or is this you, or is this someone else? The devil represents temptation. We have these two lovers that are yoked to each other and chained to Saturn's box. He's haunched over the in between them here. This represents animal instinct, and so what this is saying is this is lust, not love. And so this energy is basically very manipulative. So you can't get the truth out of the devil. Whenever the devil comes up, I always just cover him with the next card up. I want to see what minion does he send in, because he doesn't do his own dirty work. He has someone do it for him. And who does he send in? What is it about? What does he want? Or does God cover it? And we have the wounded warrior. So he is trying to tempt a wounded warrior. So the wounded warrior energy represents someone who has been through a lot. This is talking about all of these 8 wands behind him represent actions that he's taken or other people have taken, and they are, you know, he has been staying on his path. The wounded warrior is someone that is staying on his destined path, but it's been really, really challenging, and he's exhausted, and now he's leaning on the 9th wand. There's 10 wands in the tarot, so he's almost there, but he's tired. You can see he's got a headache. He's you know, he's leaning hard on this last wand here, and the devil knows that he's very vulnerable right now and is doing his best to, you know, get him, swing him over to the other side, basically. That kind of energy. So the justice, okay, but justice is coming. So justice is represented, this thin veil behind this figure represents the spiritual realm and the physical. And this, she has her sword of justice up in the air. She's ready to wield it. She's got her right foot forward. So as soon as she gets the word to go, she'll be in there. And the justice sword is double-edged, so, you know, it depends on which side you're on, that how it lands. And this also can talk about redemption from karma. Karma, a lot of people feel, is punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect for your actions, or sometimes your inactions. And you could have direct karma. Direct karma is, you know, you did it, you caused it yourself. Indirect karma could be ancestors and descendants, and because you're, you know, they're your family, you're associated with that. It could also be other people that you're associated with, and you know, indirectly, just by being around them, you enjoy their karma as well, basically. And then we have the karmic spaces, which all human beings easily fall into. We're human, and we have a tendency to fall for the traps sometimes. We have the 9 of Cups. So this is interesting because, like, we're talking about, you know, a lot of love here. So, and this is something that you've always wished for. So this is talking about this person's public. Like, it looks like it's a public figure. You might be a public figure, or you might have a platform of some kind. These cups, it's hard to tell. Are they in the past behind him? Are they above his head in the now? Or are they slightly forward and this is about to happen? So it's this person's highly favored to get what they wish for here. And this is a lot of love, like it's love, you know, in all forms. Quite often the cups in tarot represent romantic love, but they can also represent love of your family, your friends, that places, people, things, basically your pets, that kind of energy. And, you know, loving your career and loving the people you work with, just like having a lot of love in your life. And so this person's sitting on the stage, and it looks like he's on display on the stage. And everybody knows that he's highly favored to get what he wants here. He's been successful in the past. And but he has to stay focused and stay in the race. You can just see from his body language, his feet turned out like this. It represents an energy of being too open and leaking energy from the base chakra. And also, but his arms on top are actually making an infinity symbol. So he kind of reminds me of a genie, someone that is, you know, he knows how to get what he wants. And this is talking about staying on the right path now. So is he going to get justice for, like, is he going to stay on the path now? Or is he going to try and take a shortcut? That's, I guess, what this reading is about. So if this is this is your energy, this is the internal. Oh, we forgot to get the bottom underlying energy for the internal forces. Well, we didn't, I did. All right, so the underlying energy is the Page of Wands. Okay, so interesting. So the Page of Wands is a younger version of this Knight of Wands. You know, this has been coming up in my readings quite often, where the knights and the show up, and then the page shows up when the page was younger. So I feel like this is talking about someone that you know that is or that you are someone, whoever this energy is involving, you've known each other since you were at least teenagers kind of energy. So the Page of Wands is a younger version of the Knight of Wands. The pages would start working for the King and Queen around 7 to 14 years of age, depending on how mature they are. And they would come from the surrounding families in the area that were upper, class and well educated. They would work in the palace, and their main task when they were younger like that was to just deliver information, communication back and forth throughout the palace walls, and run errands, that kind of energy. And if they were suited to that and they were doing really well, when they were 21, they might be considered for knighthood, as long as they could afford their own horse. And so the Page of Wands, this is a younger version of this individual, and he has, this is representing a very enthusiastic, an energy like under the age of 21. Masculine energy that's very enthusiastic and has the world at his feet, basically. And he wants to, he's really ready to go. He's got a feather in his cap, and he has a good outlook on life and is really enjoying the journey, well dressed, well put together. He really, really admires his wand, though. You may notice this. His wand is made of wood. It's representing passion. And of course, wood feeds fire. That's his element. So sometimes you have to take what the Page of Wands has to say with a grain of salt, because he's quite often, more often than not actually, thinking with his little head instead of his big head. And he outgrows this when he gets a little bit older. But okay, so that's the energy. So that kind of explains a little bit more. I feel like this could be your energy that you're in, is having learned some lessons the hard way, having been tempted in the past. Makes sense. Justice is here. I feel like you have, even though you were tempted a lot of the time, basically you stayed on the right side of the law kind of energy, and you're going to it's going to benefit you that you have, because you're someone that understands not to be that impulsive. Sometimes people can learn from other people's mistakes instead of their own, and I feel like that's the energy here, more or less. I think that there was times where it was close, though. We have the Emperor here. So the Emperor is representing a very high-level performance. He's all about performance. He's wearing his armor under his robe because at a moment's notice, if there's an opportunity, he's there to grab it. And he also will not back down from a fight if he needs to be in one to get what he deserves, what is his. He is all four kings in the minor arcana rolled into one person, basically. So highly respected individual at the top of his game. This is someone, that a lot of people would go to for advice. This could represent whatever, he could be very, have a lot of power, a lot of authority in whatever area of life he's in, like whatever profession. And so this energy could be talking about your energy now, or it could be talking about someone else. A lot of times people go to the Emperor for advice. We also have the King of Pentacles here. So the King of Pentacles is representing an energy of someone who is highly respected for their business acumen. They are likely to be, their element is the element of earth, and it's represented by the pentacle, and the pentacle is in the shape of a coin. That's because money is a big part of health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world on earth. Having said that, you could have all the money in the world but still not be living the lifestyle you want. So pentacles actually represent lifestyle, not just money. And but the King of Pentacles is someone that understands how money works and how to bring what are just thoughts down to material form, and to be able to have that lifestyle that a lot of people would like to live. This energy is talking about this energy could represent people who are in the banking industry. If so, they're going to be at the top, like at least a bank manager, someone who has a lot of pull and authority. There's also, I'm just going to fix my camera here. This, because the cat knocked it when she decided to join our reading here. And now it was bouncing against the table. So I apologize if it's been vibrating this time. She didn't mean to. She gets excited. She was sleeping in the other room and heard me doing a reading, and she loves to be sitting on my lap. Usually she just sits and purrs, but then on the way by she noticed that I had some chicken for her and she was smelling it, so that's what she's doing now. She's deserted us for her breakfast. So this is the energy of also someone that could be in real estate, because this could be land, it could be land development, you know, a builder, that kind of energy. You know, someone who's maybe the chief financial officer of a large corporation. This could represent an energy of, you know, someone who's maybe the minister of finance in a government, that type of energy. Someone very high up that, you know, if it's a financial advisor, you know, insurance salesman, people who are accountants, that it would be someone who's in a prestigious firm that is a partner, basically, someone higher up, and that people admire and look up to. The King of Pentacles has grapes all over his robe, and that's because in tarot, grapes represent luxury. And, you know, for someone to be in business and to be able to make money off of grapes is like a high accomplishment. And so people will tend to have a lot of respect for them, and you know, they will ask them for advice because they trust their judgment. And here we have, okay, so this is representing someone who's multitasking at a high level. You know, sometimes we have to be careful because sometimes we just end up getting busy to be busy. This is talking about how we can gain momentum, you know, with multitasking and take it too far. You know, where there's a small ship on a small wave and now it's a big ship on a big wave, and we just keep being that busy, almost for the sake of being busy. And this can talk also about juggling. And so this card is basically saying, be careful that you don't get so busy that you are, there's more quantity to your work than quality. And also this can represent an energy of juggling, especially when it comes to pentacles and lifestyles. So this could be, maybe you have 2 jobs, or you have, you know, maybe you're going to school and you're paying for it with a job at the same time. So you're studying and having to work. That kind of energy. It can represent like your home life and your business life, that sort of energy. So this card is basically saying, juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And here we have it. So we're going to just take a look here. So this is how you identify yourself right now as a wounded warrior, that, you know, you've stayed on your path, you've avoided the temptations that have come your way for the most part, and you're leaning heavy though on that 9th wand, and you're like, whoa, it's been quite the struggle to get, you know, to land this energy. But you have done it. And this is talking about your abundance and self-worth. And I feel like for some, with the devil energy there, perhaps because you didn't go with the devil, now there's been some energy coming at you that's made life more challenging. And that's why you are where you are now. We have the communication from early life. So one thing I feel that you are in the public somehow. You might have a platform, or just be a well-known business person or whatever, because we do have we have the Emperor and the King here. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But this is talking about you've sort of stayed true to what you wanted when you were younger. You might have looked around you and said, when I grow up, I'm going to, and you're doing it. And then this is talking about your emotional foundation. I feel that you had a strong upbringing, like with someone, and if it's representing this energy, it would make sense, because the Emperor would be someone, you know, that would be involved in the palace energy. And so it's quite a, I mean, it's quite a coup to be considered to be a page for the King and the Queen, because it basically guarantees your future. And then this is talking about your creativity, romance, and children. So it could talk about I mean, the wounded warrior could be a female as well as a male, and this could be a female as well as a male. So just, this is a female in a masculine energy or a male in their masculine energies. So this energy, it's hard to say as of yet, but this is talking about maybe you've been so focused on the pentacle part of your journey that you haven't yet really allowed yourself to get into the romantic part, and maybe, or you have, but you haven't been seriously looking for someone to settle down with, raise a family, that kind of energy. And maybe now you're approaching that energy. The fire signs tend to be kind of late bloomers when it comes to marriage, etc. Usually they don't settle down that early unless they, get kind of trapped in some sort of situation, that kind of energy. Usually they have kind of a more free spirit, like this horse energy here. Very similar to the fiery horse energy. And so, and this is your health, your daily routine and habits. So it's talking about like your schedule's super busy, and that's the energy I'm picking up. You've been very focused on business, on the pentacle, and the Aries energy right now, and you're probably really feeling this because like there's all these planets have moved into Aries. Like we have, I think, 6 planets moved into Aries in the last year, but in the last 3 months in particular, we had Neptune and Saturn, Venus. Everybody's been visiting the Aries energy. And like Neptune is about idealism and how you approach life and how you approach business. And, is the glass half full, is the glass half empty kind of attitude. And Neptune is more dreamy and idealistic, whereas the Aries energy is very much like, hey, I want to assert myself here. And so all these planets have moved in, like Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years, and now will be in the sign of Aries for 14 years. So this is a huge change for everybody, and in particular, you would be feeling this. Then Saturn, a couple weeks later, Saturn, which is another very intense planet, moved in to join Neptune. And this energy is, like about responsibility and being like, in this energy of doing what you need to do. It's a very deep, like about your emotions and how you approach life as well. Like when it comes to how are you going to go after what you want kind of energy? How responsible are you? How dedicated are you? Are you disciplined? That kind of energy. And then, Venus is in charge of love, and that moved into Aries. And I think Mercury's in there right now too, and that's communication. So in a way, it's an intense energy for you because you've had them all. It's like someone moving into your house all at once. And now on April 17th, this new moon that's coming up is also moving into Aries, if you can imagine, from Pisces. And so this new moon is, and it's not just representing like sometimes a new moon, just moving from one sign to the other. It's like Pisces is the senior executive of the universe, and it's the last sign, and you're the very first. So it's moving from the last sign into the first, so it's starting a new cycle on top of everything else. And we've had 2 eclipses at the end of February and March, so it's been very intense energy. And so this moon, now you're going to really be feeling it, you in Pisces. And the energy is being new and innovative, assertive without being abrasive. The Aries energy, you're the infant of the zodiac, basically, the first there, and it's your glyph is the ram. So sometimes the Aries energy can be very rammy, and you think about babies, they come in head first, and for a newborn baby could be it's totally helpless, yet it rules the house. It's that kind of energy. And this is a really, really good time if you're thinking about starting a brand new project, something like that you've been wanting to do. This is a really good time to do that when that moon comes in on the 17th, and also 3 days before and 3 days after, basically. So around now, actually, and getting close. And then this can be also about discovering how brave you really are. Like this is that is this energy here, keeping on going, even, you come up against some real pretty heavy duty obstacles, and really not giving into the temptation. So this energy is quite intense, and you might even be feeling, because you have all these planets in your house here, you may be feeling Uranus is moving into the sign of Gemini on the 25th, and that's a whole new ball of wax again, but it's going to affect everybody again. And because everybody's already getting used to the Aries energy, it's going to have another pretty huge effect on people. They're actually, I saw one astrologer talking about all these planets moving into one house like this. And they said that, that we won't see this again in our lifetime. This is very unique energy, and that probably it won't happen for maybe another 800 years. So it's not, it's quite heavy, especially with, well, it's not necessarily heavy. It can be really intense though. And also with the eclipse season just having passed it, and then having the new year, all of that at once, quite a lot of energy. So I will talk about Uranus in the last, the end of the month for April, because I don't even want to bring that energy in here. Let's chill out and enjoy the new moon. And the best thing you can do at this time is be yourself, be authentic. And you're good at doing that, Aries. So I feel that this energy in many ways is very beneficial for you, seeing that everybody's hanging out with you. And then we have, for the external forces, we have the High Priestess energy coming in. It's saying, yes, when the moon is around, that's a really good time to be intuitive. That's when we are most intuitive, at the full moon and the new moon. And the High Priestess, she sits next to God on her throne. And she is in between these two pillars. So these two pillars represent extremes. And in between, this is infinite potential. There's a lot of information here in between these two pillars. And the information equals energy. So a lot of people worry about misinformation and disinformation, but information is basically, it's data, and when data comes in, it really doesn't care whether you like it or not. It just is what it is. It's the information. What you do with the information, now that is a big deal. Which side are you on? This is representing good and evil, extremes like that. This is actually representing Jesus and the devil. So it's a huge difference here. And so she has to be discerning, and to become discerning, she has to get neutral to the information. She can't get all triggered and then make emotional decisions. They're going to have to be like solid decisions that she's making, and using her intuition as well as her logic to do so. We don't have any swords in the picture as of yet, but we'll see what's coming up here. So we have the Page of Cups. Interesting, because the Page of Cups is generally romantic love. And the Page of Cups is some sort of information or communication coming in, and it looks like someone has their eye on you, because this is coming from the external forces. This is in your position of partnerships, commitments, and marriage. So this quite often, this page understands that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he's got his eye on this fish. And so someone's got their eye on you, and they are pretty intensely thinking, I want to get to know this person better. And so this can also represent online dating as well as the other forms of communication. We have the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, coming in. So this is interesting. This is talking about a reward coming in for God, that is, when you know the truth, it sets you free. So it's kind of an energy of having the information basically that you need to move through this energy, get the justice that you want, and what you've always wished for, and get into more of this performance energy without having to be like constantly juggling. I feel like that's the energy that's what's causing this kind of oh man, like there's never a moment's rest. I just get through one crisis and then there's another one that pops up kind of energy. And that's kind of the way the world is right now. A lot of people are feeling that. And of course, with all this other energy in your sign, you're going to be feeling it as pretty intensely. Now, this is talking about disappointment in love. So you may have been disappointed in the past. Sometimes this energy can talk about being like there's something fishy in your love life and there was something off, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it and it didn't work out. So, you know, something stinks. If you leave a fish out of water for too long, it's going to start to smell. So this energy is talking about, quite often it's talking about disappointment in romantic love. Perhaps you've given someone, you know, like it looks like there could be a third party involvement here. And sometimes that third party involvement can actually extend to, you know, the best gift of all, which is a baby, except if it's not yours, then it's, you know, pretty disappointing. So this is talking possibly about a third party energy. This can also, it doesn't have to be romantic love. This could also be having given someone that you love or a partner of some sort in business or whatever 3 chances. And they're asking, can you just give me one more chance? And you're like, no way, 3 strikes, you're out. I'm not doing this again. People tend to show you who they are the first time around. So, you know, if you've given them 3 chances already, you know, you're probably wise to just say, okay, this is who they really are. Whether that be romantic or a business partner or a family member or whatever, just, you know, you need to recognize that. And then this also could just represent being disappointed 3 times in, you know, just putting yourself out there, basically. And so this could talk about, you know, in romantic love, like dating and then it doesn't work out and just being disappointed by 3 different people. Or it could also represent an energy of being disappointed by business partners or by, you know, starting a business and it doesn't quite take, that kind of energy. So this is about transition. So it's telling, saying that you're going to be rewarded with the truth so that you can understand what you need to do to move forward in a strong way in this cycle here. And this is about your higher learning. So the good thing is you know, if you do have, even if you do have disappointment, people who are doing their best to be the best version of themselves are putting themselves out there. So this is saying that you're doing your best to be the best version of yourself, and that's basically our purpose. You know, at the, you know, on the more macro level, and then we take that to wherever we go, like however we do it in our own way. But having said that, every time that you do step out there and put yourself out there and do something new and put, you know, like take the risk basically for yourself personally and you know, putting yourself out there and being vulnerable to maybe mockery or whatever because you weren't successful, that kind of energy. You learn from it. And if you can learn from that energy and apply it to the if you're going to start a new project or start a project that you had before in a new way, that also can work really well. And this is talking about the Page of Swords. So we have 3 pages here. So this is talking about youthful energy, feeling youthful again. This is like a breath of fresh air a lot of the time. This is the position of your career and reputation. So there could be, like, I feel like there's this breath of fresh air coming into your life. I'm not convinced that this is really about romance so much as it's more about getting what you want in life, like on your career path and just where you want to be. The swords represent the element of air and it also of our mental intelligence, discipline of the mind, basically. And the Page of Swords is the only one who's not looking focused on his element. You notice he's focused and he's focused. He's looking away, actually, and this is someone who wants to think outside the box. So he understands what the question is. He has the question already. What he wants to do is look away from that and logically and feel for the answer. So he wants to think outside the box. And is there some other creative solution that he can bring in here? And having this attitude is like a breath of fresh air. He also reminds me of someone who's golfing and about to take a swing, basically. And I feel like, you know, golfing is a very mental sport. So it's talking about when we're out there and we're putting ourselves out there, and you know, like I feel like a lot of politicians and businessmen, businesswomen go out in the golf course instead of sitting in a stuffy convention hall. That makes sense. But also they do it because if you do 18 holes with someone, you're going to learn a lot about them, because golf is a very mental sport. So if you get out there and on the first hole you mess up and, you know, you get all nervous or whatever and you mess up and your game goes south, you know, do you end up throwing your club and freaking out? Like how do you handle failure? How do you handle, like, if you have a really good hole kind of energy, and if you do really badly on the first hole, are you able to control your, you know, discipline your mind so that you can stay in the game and get a hole in one in the second hole? And so you could learn a lot about someone, whether or not you want to hire them or not, playing golf with them. And then this is talking about the Three of Cups is saying that there is some sort of celebration. It's not my favorite card, though, because no one's looking at each other. They're looking at the event more than at each other. So they are celebrating something, but what they're celebrating is something that's happened or is about to happen, something they maybe have been working on. They might not even know each other that well. And the thing is, in many cultures, you know, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, especially in Europe, they will freak out, like, because it's they have a superstition. It's 7 years bad luck if you toast someone and don't look them in the eye, and they'll be like, look me in the eye. And so they take it quite seriously. And I feel that, you know, if this is romantic love, this could be one of the third party energy feeling it. Usually it comes up quite often. This can represent gossip and slander, that kind of energy. This is coming in as blessings, though. So if this is your reputation, and then this energy is coming in, it could be that they are actually celebrating. They're happy you're the one that got the job, that you're going to be their boss or whatever. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. If it's romantic, if it's romantic, because this is, you know, why is there 3 people instead of 2? That kind of energy. Yeah, and there's also like a disappointment. So this is disappointment in love, and this is disappointment in money, and or in lifestyle, basically. So again, this energy is like, were you supposed to be getting all these blessings of these pentacles? This is someone who's staring at, I've put all this work into this, and this is all I've gotten out of it. And this is someone who's used to being successful, and they're like, what the heck is going on here? Now, this energy could just be because these people are so used to being successful that they did things the same old way that they always do, and they didn't pay attention to the rising trend. Sometimes when you're at the top of the pedestal, that's what happens, is you don't feel like you have to really follow the undercurrents. I've always done it this way. It's always worked for me. The energy is very different now, though. We have, you know, the Piscean energy to the Aries energy. It's almost, you know, we have a water sign that's more, you know, probably more magnanimous, going to give people another chance kind of energy, more idealistic, whereas Aries, it's like, no, it's like, no, I'm not, it's about asserting your authority, asserting your authenticity of who you are. And so basically, you have to be very careful at this time. It's good to be authentic, and it's good to be in your own energy, but you don't want to be abrasive and piss people off that are already at the top, making things more difficult for you to move forward. So this energy is talking, I feel a lot about this energy coming in. It's saying you're really well placed. You have a lot of skills. You have a lot of really good energy. If you've been disappointed in the past, don't be afraid to give one more go at something that you've been working on, because you might have it this time. Like it might have been just the timing was off or that kind of energy. And if you put your energy into something like that, you may find that this time it really works out, and maybe you have the support of these people, as long as you don't throw the club on the first hole, you know, and you impress them with your golf game. And I really do feel that a lot of people that are potentially hiring people take them out golfing for that reason. They can tell right away, is this a good winner? Is this a good loser? How do they act when they're under pressure? That kind of energy. So I do, if you're saying, okay, this is good, I'm ready to go, then thank you for your time and energy. I'm going to clarify this for those of you who do want further clarification. If you're leaving the reading now, thank you for your time and energy. I really appreciate it. And please do give it a like and comment if you have enjoyed the reading. It does empower me to build my channel. Consider subscribing. You're more than welcome. Now, for those of you who want clarification, we're going to use my oracle, Tales from the Vector, and I started this back in 2007. I've been working on it when I have time. I'm an artist. There was like 64 paintings, and this is from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. I think around 30 of the paintings are big, like 3 feet by 4 feet, or almost that size. And they're of dragons coming in from the future. I have a lot of information written down, and I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. On that website, I have a gallery of the 64 paintings. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings, how they're numbered there, in the order they are there. I will, in the description box below, I will put them how they show up here, so that you can take a look at them, and maybe it'll give you further clarity if you want. It's interesting, quite often my deck says we want to start here at transition. And so here we have it. This is talking about, there's definitely a transition coming in with this information from the rebel with a cause. So this is a new passion, and I feel like it may have to do, I still don't feel this is really a love reading so much. It could be, but I feel this is more about something you love to do or be. Like it's about something you're really passionate about completing, or something that you want to work on. And so there's some sort of transition happening to allow you to step into, the death card is about death and rebirth. So it's talking also, when you think about a newborn baby having just made that journey down, there's light at the end of the tunnel kind of energy. And, the birthing process is actually quite, it's like quite a battle when you think about it. It's a lot. So of course, it's similar to this energy, like when you're in life and you want to live, like you want to get out there, you want to do new shift, that kind of energy. And we have, and as I said, you think about a newborn baby and you think about how helpless they are, and look at what they learn in 1 year alone. So this is talking about the hermit energy. So this is about safe travels on your journey. The hermit painting in my oracle is actually a dragon. His name is Ifyou. He's a baby dragon. He's like a hawk dragon. And all of my baby dragons have a guardian angel with them. And his guardian angel is a First Nations, like Cupid. She's really beautiful. And she's kept very busy because Ifyou is a seeker, and so he wants to always go into the darkest of the dark of the nights and seek out the truth. He's sitting on a totem pole, and it's actually not a totem pole from the same time and space as he's in. It's from Japan, and it's the 3 monkeys. Hear no ego, see no ego, speak no ego. And normally the hermit goes up to the top of the mountain and isolates himself so that he can speak to God, to source energy, and figure out, okay, what do I need to do next? What action do I need to take? And when his lantern is full of the light of the North Star energy, then he comes down the mountain and implements that. But the North Star energy is represented by the Aurora Borealis. This painting, this dragon, is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and it's one of the areas in Canada where you can really get a really beautiful experience of the Aurora Borealis, which is also referred to as the Northern Light. So that's the kind of energy in my oracle for that. This is talking about going on a foolhardy journey or having been on one. Even though you've been tempted, and sometimes you may have seen other people, it seems like they cut corners, went with the devil energy, and they came out of it like ahead of you, and it can be really challenging because it's like hard to like, where's my justice? But your justice will come in. The thing is, in the end, with the devil energy, there's always a price to pay. Whereas with God, it's talking about the journey is part of the joy of it, like of being on your path and learning the ropes and, being in this energy here. So this is talking about having to have strength and integrity to be able to be in this, to have justice in the world. And this painting is a beautiful, it's a lion looking dragon, and he's sitting on the Sphinx. The pyramids are in the background, very similar to this energy. It's about love of travel, and I was inspired. I was in Egypt, and it was quite the trip. I am going to have to write a book about it someday because it was pretty wild. It was different. I loved it. It was an amazing adventure. Then we have Mother's Worry. And so this is talking about, I feel like a lot of people right now, like probably there are a lot of mothers worried right now. There's a lot happening on the planet. That like it's like it seems like, whoa, this is a very challenging place to be. But I also feel like this is talking about just a lot of people refer to the earth as Mother Earth, and a lot of people are feeling like this intense energy, like there's so much change happening, and a lot of people with the files being released and that kind of energy, it's like we are really being, it's a lot of people feel like the rug has been pulled out from underneath them. Perhaps people that you've admired, like the emperor, feeling like, is this person, I thought they were this way, and then you're watching what's happening, and you have to remember, like with the files that are out, there's a lot of information out there. And you have to be careful to make sure that it's not AI or that it's true information. We're seeing, though, some justice being happening, and there's arrests being made. Like, for instance, in the monarchy, we've had an arrest, and it's the first time in over 3 centuries, they're saying, that someone from the monarchy has been arrested. And a lot of people said there's no way that there's going to be justice because of that, because of being part of monarchy, and yet... And just to say, there is no charges been laid, but there was an arrest. So they are looking into it, at least. The perception, this is like the purr of a cat. Like normally my cat would be sitting here, but she ate her chicken and now she's going to have a nap somewhere else. So, and this is talking about, sometimes maybe we have people in our life, like the emperor, that we really looked up to, mentors or whatever, and then we find out, oh, the grass is greener on the other side, and they were actually fake. So they may have been tempted and they're not who they appear to be, or we maybe have given them such a hero status that there's no way a human being could live up to that kind of, being at the top of that, like being a hero of that great degree. A lot of times this is like an ego thing, and that's why with the journeyman, the hermit energy in my oracle, it's basically that kind of energy where it's hear no ego, see no ego, speak no ego. So when you're doing meditation in that, A lot of people in the spiritual world will talk about not having an ego. You need to have an ego, like, to be able to function in the third dimensional world. But basically what they're talking about a lot of the time is believing in your ego more than in your spiritual side. So it's kind of, listening, and quite often listening to yourself saying, oh, I'm just one person. What can I do? I don't really matter. No, you are actually very unique, and you were put on the earth at this time for some reason, and there's no one in the world exactly like you. So you have your own unique qualities that allow you to be who you are, and it's important that you do your best to be the best you can be. We have indifference. This is another karmic space we can all fall into. This is kind of this concern about being too busy and multitasking to the point where you're just busy for the sake of being busy, and then not noticing, becoming indifferent to other people's suffering. You're too busy doing whatever else, and you don't notice that, oh, your kids miss you at home kind of energy. Father figures, well, that's just coming up right after. So this is talking about turning princes into frogs. So someone starts off like this, and then they end up, not living up to who they wanted to be. So this can represent a father figure energy. This could be someone that is, the father of your children, or you could be a father, or it could be your father, that kind of energy, the paternal bloodline. We have abuse of power. Okay, so this is in partnerships, commitments, and marriage. So this could be there was some sort of grass is greener on the other side, and then it was fake kind of energy. It could represent in your love life, but I still feel this is more about something you love to do or be. The truth is coming out. This is going to be a transition. We have Aquarius here, and we have moved into the age of Aquarius. I think we did in 2020. It's hard to tell. We're moving from Pisces into the age of Aquarius, and the thing about Aquarius energy is, or about moving into a new age, it's a 2,160-year process. So, it's going to be very subtle. And so it's, with the AI and the way the Uranus energy is kind of focused on that. And I feel like we might really be feeling that like in a week or so when Uranus decides on April 25th to move into Gemini. And so we'll see what happens with that. It can be, I think it could be quite intense, but the truth is going to come out, and maybe like we're going to get another round of something, that we're going to be like, no way. We thought that, we thought we'd seen it all, and now this too, like it's that kind of energy. I just want to point out that if horoscope signs appear in my general collective readings, it's talking about an energy of the sign. I'm not trying to point out individual people. It may be true for your reading, like when you're looking at this reading for yourself, but that's not my intention. I'm not saying that. Use your intuition. The Chariot is talking about on the spiritual realm, this is already moving into being. And so it's on its way. And this is talking about your higher learning being of benefit to you. Having that balance. And so this can talk about your career and reputation, that this energy could be really beneficial for you. Again, I'm getting some sort of energy that you're way more balanced than you were. Like, you've learned a lot from when you were this age to this age, and have learned how to rein yourself in a little bit. And maybe that could be some very beneficial for something that didn't work out in the past that you were disappointed. Maybe now it could. We have the devil energy. Yeah, why am I not surprised? So this is the temptation that's down here. So this could have been some sort of energy in a love affair that you had. This third-party energy that was so disappointing. Now, it could be that you stepped out of your own relationship and had a third-party relationship and were really disappointed in yourself and in that person in the end. The grass was greener on the other side, but it was fake kind of energy. or it could represent your partner doing that with someone. I'm going to see who covers the devil this time. And in my oracle, the devil is actually a beautiful dragonfly adorned with Swarovski crystals, and she is on a hot pink background. The devil is going to tempt you with something very shiny and beautiful, something that you really want. And so the scotoma is not being able to see something that other people can see, possibly about this person or the situation. And, I have come to the conclusion that love is blind, bottom line, after doing these readings, because there's so many instances where really brilliant people make big mistakes when it comes to romantic love and how they carry themselves. And then we also have the energy here and the end here about the Pisces energy. So yeah, this is talking about, again, having that big change into your sign. So how this is really affecting Pisces and also the Aries energy. And also Libra is opposing you on the wheel. So the position of Libra energy is opposite the position of Aries. And so our opposing sign tends to have like a strong effect also on us. So Libra is probably feeling this energy as well. But Libra energy is when you're a mature adult and you're ready to make, like commitments, like marriage, and understand like business partnerships, how important it is. Like you might have employees and you have to think of them also, that kind of energy. And, like as opposed to where the group energy is more important than just your own self, being able to draw the line there, basically. So yeah, this is good. This reading has a lot of good advice in it. Basically, be yourself and don't be abrasive, don't be impulsive. You might regret it. Don't be afraid to bring out a new project. It's a good time for it. Or bring out a project that maybe you were disappointed because it didn't take off. And maybe now you have a new way of looking at it and it could really take off. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Please give it a like and comment if you have, and also consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. I will be back with the next astrological insight will be regarding the end of the month, when we'll talk about Uranus moving into Gemini. Bye for now.